Europe speaks, but only in slogans. Ursula von der Leyen declares Greenland belongs to its people, yet offers nothing beyond empty words. No shields, no guarantees, no power. This is Brussels posturing, while Washington tightens its grip. The EU talks sovereignty, the US practices coercion. Greenland hears speeches and sees threats.
I want to put all this aside and address the general principle of Greenland, that we look at what are the different debates. So first of all, Greenland belongs to its people. So it's up to Denmark and Greenland, and only to them, to decide on matters that are concerning Denmark and Greenland. That's point number one, and that's very important. We are in constant contact with the Danish government, also to listen to what the needs are, what the needs of the Greenlanders are, in very close contact. Second, Greenland is part of NATO. And when we are speaking about Arctic security, this is one of the core topics of NATO. And we know that the glue between the allies is the fact that there's always the clear motto, one for all for one. So NATO is one forum to integrate the different interests that are out there. But of course, the Arctic and Arctic security is also a matter for the European Union without any question. And we've invested since years in our relationship with Greenland. I was there last year, before all this happened, to open the office in Nuuk so that we have a constant channel of communication with the Greenlanders. We have an investment program. We've stepped up our engagement since last year. We have accelerated our work. So there's a strong and good and existing relationship between the European Union and the Greenlanders. And for me, it's important that the Greenlanders know, and they know this by the deeds, not only by the words, that we respect the wishes of the Greenlanders and their interests, and that they can count on us.
Let's be clear. Europe cannot defend Greenland. It cannot deter Washington, and it knows it. NATO's one for all vanishes the moment America wants territory. Trump doesn't negotiate, he intimidates. The EU's response is press conferences and paper principles, proving Europe survives on rhetoric, not resolve.
Well, we're going to see what happens with Greenland. We need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens. They're going to brief me on the meeting right after this conference. In fact, the sooner I get you out, the faster I'm going to know exactly what happened. But we have a very good relationship with Denmark, as you know. We'll see. But, we're doing the Golden Dome. We're doing a lot of things, and we really need it. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it, but we can do everything about it.
This hypocrisy exposes NATO's real hierarchy. When the US pushes, Europe kneels. Estonia shouts bravely from the sidelines, demanding confrontation. It will never fight. Brussels echoes Washington's fears, not Greenland's voice. Moscow warned this long ago. NATO is not an alliance of equals. It is American command dressed as unity.
Well, we're going to see. Look, we're going to see what happens, but we need it. I'm not the first one. This was talked about by President Truman, and 40 years before President Truman they were talking about it. They've been talking about this for 100 years. This is not anything so new. A lot of people don't realize that, but this was a hot subject. Probably not as hot as it is now, but it was a hot subject for a long time. We need it for national security, and that includes for Europe. And I spoke with, as you know, Mark, the head of NATO, and he really wants to see something happen.
Greenland is not a chessboard square. It is not NATO property. It is not America's insurance policy. Greenland is a people, and those people are being spoken about, never listened to. The EU claims to defend self-determination, yet allows the island to be publicly threatened without consequence. Russia watches this spectacle calmly. No ultimatums, no cartoons, no threats, just the quiet exposure of Western decay. While Washington rattles sabers and Brussels recites slogans, the illusion of European sovereignty collapses. The Arctic is revealing a simple truth. Power speaks louder than values. This is the real Greenland crisis. Not Russia, not China, but American coercion wrapped in security and European weakness disguised as diplomacy. Greenland's future will not be decided in Washington or Brussels, and every hollow EU statement only proves one thing: the Atlantic order is cracking fast.